Okay, well, I'm going to go into something that's quite dark with this, and that's their talk about beef jerky. We know that grape soda is about rape. Okay, pizza is the young kids. Beef jerky is cannibalism, eating human flesh. Now, when you're dealing with this dark side, this satanic, let's just put it out there, it's satanic. You know, Satanism and all of this loves to corrupt the most innocent. That's what it's about. Power over innocence. Okay. Bend down and worship me, and all that you see I will give to you. Okay? And it's all about corruption. It's all about, having no compassion, having just being ruthless, being depraved to get the concrete things here. And so there are a number of things in the Epstein files about people buying jerky, human jerky, of these young children. Because again, it's all about that dark corruption. It's about destroying innocence, etc. So I wanted to do the energetic reading about this and just see what it has to say. And this is what's come out. So when it comes to this mentally moving forward to a different place, this is about changing the mentality. When it comes to things that are up in the air, all these things they're involved with, the Seven of Cups, wealth, power, death, all of that stuff, and moving the mind, okay, moving the mind supposedly to their better place about all of these things, wealth, power, death. Above it, what's offered up to them is this idea that they have of a truth. How to move the mind when it comes to all of these desires that they have that are up in the air. What's offered up is this thing that they call truth, which we know is the opposite of truth. It's the lies, the deception, the drama. And so underneath of it all, this is what they're clinging to when it comes to power, money, and stuff. Pondering this stuff and what's being handed out concretely. What they're getting out of it. Okay? So the energy coming into this is their mindset. This is what they're ruled by. This is what they're holding to as paramount in their mind when it comes to actions going forward. Above it, we have their cup of abominations. Now we know, if you are Christian, you go and you have the body and the blood of Christ, okay? Going into that, wanting to have that higher awareness, well, they are destroying the innocence and taking that in through cannibalism to see what's coming. This action that they do to have their ships come in, okay? These dark actions that they do. energy going forward is about their emotional realm that they're holding to, that they think is going to bring some stability, balance with what they want so that they can control the wealth, the power, the concrete things in the earth, and fill their coffers, become wealthy, wealth, power, by destroying the innocence. It's sick. So that's what I get with it for energetically, why they're doing it. So I'm going to do a real quick read here, and let's see what else it has to say about this. What else can you tell us about this cannibalism and this dark satanic thing? And I guess so many of these very, very wealthy families have been into this Satanism, Rothschilds, and all of that for centuries. Corruption. Okay? So the center of it all, the truth. Their truth was about that dark lies, deception, etc. is at the center of it. Then we have the actions, the next actions to be done. When it comes to a new action, the truth about the actions they want to do. Above it, this is that nightmare scenario, their nightmare truth that they bring in. This stuff that's filtering in, that's over their heads. When it comes to their desires, getting what they want, the nightmare truth of their desires. Ugh. So it's what's handed out. What's being handed out, what they're getting. Concrete. When it comes to the corruption of these children, my card for the Epstein, the past, the children, the corruption of children, the nightmare mentality of the corruption of children. This is what they're clinging to. This is what they're holding on tight to. When it comes to the actions that they continue to do. Okay? Emotionally, things they've walked away from. And this ideology that they move ahead with. They're moving ahead with this just unconcerned, uncaring, unfeeling, emotionally distancing. Okay? Emotionally distancing. What they're handing out by the actions, their so-called truth. What they're clinging to is the corruption of children, corruption of innocence. Those are the actions they continue to engage in this nightmare scenario of desire. They're pulled into these dark desires. Okay. Underneath of it, these are the actions, seeing what's coming in. We've got the new cup. When it comes to wanting to control things in the nominal world, this balance that they want to bring in, when it comes to their home life things, the emotionality, their emotional state they're in, which is blocking, okay? The actions they want to control when it comes to anything going forward in the mental realm, outside of church, outside, and that greed of money. This is all about the greed of money, being outside of spirituality. Okay? And again, what's being offered up? What they're mentally restricted by. This is the mindset that they live within. When it comes to long-term gain, what they offer up with the choices made in life, this new information about mental control, mental realm, okay? So, I mean, it's sick. These people are sick. It's all about corruption, changing that mindset from, and what's light is dark and what's dark is light. That's the mentality they go into. They call the things of light love, compassion, weakness, when it's actually the strength and power and dominance. They want to go into. Okay. Like it says, harder for a wealthy man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. So they have corrupted everything in order for wealth and power now. Not knowing they have sold their souls. They want to have recognition. And we see this again in the entertainment field. They sell their souls for recognition. And it never ends well. They may have it for a short time, but what happens to these people in the end? It never ends well. They wind up having violent deaths. They wind up, things wind up, you got to pay the piper. Okay? And that dark force is going to extract. So they've sold their souls for wealth, power, but how happy does it make them? It doesn't make them happy in the end. They're miserable. Okay? But yeah, that's what's behind what I'm getting, what's behind eating, cannibalism of these children, victims. Yeah, it's like Jeffrey Dahmer's thing. Oh, I wanted to have them with me. I wanted to, I wanted some tribes that practice cannibalism say they want to extract their power. Okay? Same thing. They want to extract the power. They want to extract the innocence. They want to extract these things. The youth. They want to take their youth. They want to take their energy. They want to take, okay, and corrupt it. So dark and sick, I cannot. For most of us rational people, we cannot even go there in any way, shape, or form. But this is the depravity these people live in and think they're above everybody, okay? They engage in these dark satanic rituals. And thinking they're gaining power, thinking that they're above everyone, thinking that they are the life and death of people, that they're the God force of these people. No, they're destruction of their own lives in the end. So on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll go forward.